Watch our predictions on Apple's March 2nd event. Leaks have the first mugshot of the probable next generation iPhone screen. And Apple patents yet another social network again. Not sure why this time. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everybody, I'm Jaime Rivera and welcome to the Pocketnow iReview, the show we go through all this week's cool and the not so cool inside the world of Apple's iOS devices. Let's start this week off with the cool. Well, Apple has already shared their invitations for their March 2nd event in San Francisco. And even though we do assume that everything will mostly have to do with the iPad, remember that everything that happened to the iPad 1 paved a lot of the changes that happened to the iPhone 4 last year. So the event's name is Come See What 2011 Will Be the Year Of. So we do see changes to everything else, not necessarily just the iPad. Now, our biggest predictions are that iOS 4.3 will be released with a couple of minor changes to iOS. Aside from that, we do see iOS 5 being announced with the future generation iOS platform in competition to what's going on with Honeycomb and Gingerbread and Android and Windows Phone 7 making it to Nokia devices. Now, aside from that, we do see that Apple will also release changes like, for example, more storage in the iPad 2, a slimmer case, and also a couple of other changes that will most probably come to the iPhone 4 like dual-core processors and even dual-mode GSM and CDMA radios. So, again, we'll see what happens in the end. Nothing is confirmed, so Wednesday is going to be the day for us to know what changes will be coming. Leaks out there have shots of the next generation iPhone, and even though they do assume that the device will keep the same thin profile, it'll be an edge-to-edge screen from side to side and only a very small bezel from top to bottom. Now, our biggest bet is that this is probably just a mock-up and a fake for now. Remember that Apple will most probably drop the home button eventually, but it could be true. Now, remember that Apple always tries to cover the backs of developers, and usually the fact that they change screen resolution brings problems to developers porting apps to the next generation device. Now, if Apple's working on iOS 5 being a dynamic resolution display operating system like you see on PCs, this could be true. You never know. Now, changes have been happening quick in the MobileMe department. Just last week, we rumored that most probably it'll go free and also offer music streaming services and added value to iOS device owners. Now, this week, it's no longer on sale on stores as the box version that only gives you a register. It's now only available online, but most probably we will see that these changes come on the March 2nd event, so stay tuned. And well, FaceTime leaves the beta for macOS owners and is now available as FaceTime HD for $1 for you to interact on FaceTime calls between your Mac and iPhone 4 or iPod Touch new generation owners. Sad to see that they brought a price tag to a supposedly free service, but it's now available for $1, and well, aside from that, it also supports HD video calls as a new offering with the new MacBook Pro lineup. Again, not really sure why they're charging $1 and not really sure why they don't bring this to Windows-based PCs too. And well, for all of you that were worried about the subscription-based services changes to App Store applications for in-app purchases and developers fighting around for it, Apple has recently clarified that this will only be available for publishing applications and not for software as a service applications like eBay, Amazon, etc. Now, in my case, I'm still going to be buying Kindle ebooks because I prefer the fact that I'm able to port them everywhere as opposed to iBooks. But not really sure if the ebooks will be more expensive given these are publishing applications. So, not sure what to expect after this, but at least we'll know that these changes are not applicable for everybody else. Well, that does it for the cool. Let's continue on with the not so cool. Apple has recently patented a new trademark name called Places, and everything points out to Apple being after starting a new social network based on sharing your location, sort of like Foursquare and Facebook Places. Now, not really sure what Apple pretends to do here or how they plan to be any better than Foursquare and Facebook Places, given this will be locked into only iOS devices, meaning if you have an Android device, you really can't interact with this application with iOS device owners. Apple has already lost it with Ping, and the big flop it was being closed and not really, offering anything compelling to users out there. So not really sure what to expect, but again, this is currently new. This is just a patent. We really haven't seen what it's going to go on, so let's wait. And well, what did we tell you? Consumer Reports goes out on TV, a couple of weeks ago as we talked on a past iReview, stating that the Verizon iPhone 4 did not have any antenna gate issues and they hadn't really tested the device yet. Now they come and pull back their statement and say that they can recommend the Verizon iPhone because it does have antenna gate issues. Again guys, test things first. And well, as our last prediction for the March 2nd event, we do see Apple coming up on stage, biting the dust, and stating that they will not be releasing a white iPhone 4, to wait for the iPhone 5. So sad for those of you who waited. Anyways, that's it for today's show. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.